Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be discussing about changing decimals to fractions. The tricks, or the easiest way in changing decimals into fraction. So the first thing that you need to do or to remember when you change decimal number to fraction is you need to count the number of digits after the decimal point. So you need to count the number of digits after the decimal point, and that number of digit will tell you the number of zeros that you will be putting as the denominator. And then after that, the decimal number, you have to write that as the numerator by dropping the decimal point. And then after that, you are going to simplify the fraction in its lowest form if you can. But if not, then the answer will be the one you get already. Okay, you don't need to simplify if you can't. Okay, next, you also need to remember that if your decimal has a whole number, then your answer will be in mixed numbers. When we say answer in mixed numbers, there's a whole number and the fraction. Okay? Another one is you also need to remember that in changing decimal to fraction, sometimes you can see a decimal with a line on top. So, whenever you see a decimal with a line on top, meaning this decimal is non-terminating and repeating decimals. Pag sinabi natin non-terminating and repeating decimals, decimals na paulit-ulit lang. Okay? Paulit-ulit at hindi naglalas or hindi siya paulit-ulit at hindi siya tumitigil. So, that's repeating and non-terminating decimals. So, whenever you see this kind of decimals, meaning paulit-ulit lang siya. So, 0.22222. So, umuulit na 2 at walang katapusang 2 yan. Kaya meron na lang siyang line na ganon. Eto, umuulit na 12. So, 1, 2, and then after that, 1, 2 again, and then 1, 2 again. So, that's why it's called repeating and non-terminating kasi walang katapusan at paulit-ulit. Okay, so those are the things that you need to remember. So, if it's repeating and non-terminating, may pagkakaiba siya when you write the denominator. Okay, for this one, these numbers here, it's all repeating. It's all terminating. These numbers are terminating numbers. Terminating because tumigil. So after 5, that's a final answer already. It doesn't repeat also. So this is terminating decimal numbers. So this one, it's non-terminating decimals and it's also repeating. Okay? So repeating and non-terminating, this one, these decimals here are terminating decimals and they are not repeating. Okay? So, yun. And then, after that, pag non-terminating and repeating decimals, the denominator doesn't end with, or we don't count the number of digit here at 0 yon. No, we count the number of digit here but it's not 0. Then, it doesn't tell you the number of zeros. But instead, the denominator of these numbers here will be 9. It's not with 0 but it's 9. So, I will be discussing how did we arrive to 9 in my next video, because today what will be discussed is the technique. Okay? Technique on how you change decimals to fraction. Okay, the easiest way. Kaya technique lang yung i-discuss ko sa inyo today at yung pinakamadaling way. So, to fully understand what I'm saying, let us try to answer the given examples. Okay? So, this one, 0.05. So, just like what I have said kanina, you just need to copy or to count. I'm sorry, it's not copy, but to count the number of digit after the decimal point. So, this is the decimal point. So, how many digit after the decimal point? It's only 1. So, since there's only 1, if we're going to write this fraction, there's only 1 0 here. So there's 10. Okay? And then after, sinabi, you have to drop the decimal point here and then just copy the digit and make it as a whole number. So, ang answer dito will be 5/10. But then 5/10 can still be simplified by dividing both sides by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1 and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So the final answer is 1/2. So this is the simplified form or the lowest term of this fraction. It's 1/2. Next, it's 0.125. So 0.125, again, we need to look at the digit after the decimal point. So titingnan natin yung digit after the decimal point. So this is the decimal point. How many digits? 1, 2, 3. And since we have 3 digits here, the denominator will have 3 zeros. Magkakaroon siya ng tatlong zero kasi there's 3 digit here also. And then after, we just need to copy this 125 on top without the decimal point. So wala ng decimal point. And then after, try to look at it if you can still simplify the 125 over 1,000. And yes, you can still simplify by dividing the GCF of this fraction as 125. So both of them can be divided by 125. So 125 divided by 125 here, divided by 125, it's 1. And then how many 125 in 1,000? It's 8. So the final answer here is 1/8. Okay? Next. This one, it's 2.26. So 2.26 here, you can see there is a whole number. So there is a whole number, sabi ko kanina, the answer will be in mixed numbers. When we say mixed numbers, there's a whole number at the same time a fraction. So this 2 here will just remain 2. Okay? So ang titingnan lang natin here, we just have to look at the digit after the decimal point. So this is the decimal point and there's 2 digit here. And since there's 2 digit, we also have 2 zeros as the denominator. So there's 100. And then just copy 26. So 26 over 100. It's 2 and 26 over 100. 26 over 100 can still be simplified by dividing this by 2. Okay, so 26 divided by 2 is 13. And 100 divided by 2 is 50. Okay, so this is the simplified form of 26 over 100. But don't forget there's a 2 here. So when you write it, you have to write the 2 beside the 13 over 50. And this is the final answer. Okay, another one. Here it's 0.008. So the digit, there's 3 digits after the decimal point. So there are 3 zeros on the denominator, and then we just have to copy 8. Why only 8? Because the other numbers here are all 0 and there's no value. So 8 lang ilalagay natin dyan. And then after, since you can still simplify this by dividing this both by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. And 1,000 divided by 8 is 125. So the final answer here is 125. Okay, next. Okay, now next, as you can see here, it's 0.2, but there's a line on top. So anong ibig sabihin ng line on top? Meaning it's repeating and it's also non-terminating. So repeating paulit-ulit na hindi natatapos. So that's repeating and non-terminating. And since it's repeating and non-terminating, sabi ko kanina, still you need to count the digit after the decimal point and there's only 1. Okay? So there's only 1. And since there's only 1, and sabi ko kanina, if you have this kind of decimal, the denominator is 9. So since there's only 1 digit here, so there's only 1 9 as the denominator. And then just copy 2 as the numerator without the decimal point. Okay, 2 over 9. And 2 over 9, you cannot simplify that anymore. So 2 over 9 is the final answer. Okay, next this one, 0.12 with a line. So it's still non-terminating and it's repeating and then terminating. Okay, but this time, there's 2 digits after the decimal point. So there should be 2 9. Okay, so it's over 99 naman siya. Okay, and then just copy 12 on top. 12 over 99 can still be simplified by dividing both sides by 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4 and 99 divided by 3 is 33. So the final answer for this one is 4 over 33. Another. This 0.345 and there's line, so still it's non-terminating. And because of that, there are 3 digits after the decimal point, so meaning there's also 3 nines in the denominator. And then copy the 345 here. So 345 over 999, you cannot simplify this anymore because there's no number that can be divided both to 345 and 999 except 1. So this is the simplified form of the fraction. Next, it's 3.2. So as you can see here, meron tayong whole number and then we have a decimal point that is non-terminating and repeating. So just like what I have said kanina, the answer here is mixed number. Okay? So mixed number, there's a whole number and a fraction. So we just have to copy 3 as a whole number here. And then our fraction here will be, since it's non-terminating, the denominator will be 9. And since there's only one digit after that, there's only 1 9. And then just copy the 2. So the final answer here will be 3 and 2 ninths. Okay, you cannot simplify 2 and 9 into 2 nines into simplified fraction because this is also already in its simplest form. Okay, next, the last, it's 4.253 and still it's non-terminating. So there's a fraction and there's a whole number. So we have to write the whole number here. And then how many digits after the decimal point? It's 3. So we also have 3 nines on top. So it's 999 and then just copy the 253 here. Okay? So the 253 there, you can still simplify. 253, it's not. So the final answer here is 4 and 253 over 999. And the last one, it's 12 and 0.03. So again, there's a whole number and still non-terminating and repeating decimal. So there's a 2-digit number, may dalawang digit dito. So there's 299 here. And then we just have to copy 3 on top. Okay, 3 on top because the number before the 3 is 0, so there's no value. Okay, but then 3 over 99, you can still simplify that by 3. So we can divide this by 3, we can divide this by 3. So the final answer here will be 12 and 1 over 33. So this is the final answer. Okay, so that's how we change decimal to fraction using the technique or using the simplified way or the easiest way instead of doing the long method. Okay, so just don't forget, all you need to do is look at the number of digits after the decimal point, and then that number of digit will tell you how many zeros or how many nines will you put as the denominator. So it depends on what kind of fraction of decimal digit is that, if it's terminating or non-terminating decimals. Okay, so for terminating decimals, ang denominator niya is with zeros. Okay, so ito yung mga terminating. So, nag-e-end siya sa 0, 0. And then simplify. Pero kapag non-terminating and repeating decimals, hindi zeros ang ilalagay natin doon. But instead, yung decimal o yung digit, number of the digits after the decimal point will tell you also how many nines will you put as the denominator. Okay? So, that's it for today. I hope you learned something. Again, this is Teacher Luis, your mommy tutor. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also ring the notification bell so that you'll be updated to my other upcoming videos. Thank you.